Alright, and so I have yet another toy for you all out there that I had or found again. This is another thing I collected as a kid growing up. I had all kinds of Terry Farrell and Jadzia Dax stuff that I collected as a kid over the years. And this is another one of those Barbies or Barbie dolls that they made or had, one of the toys they had and that they used to sell and stuff from way back. Now, just looking at this, I can remember, and I'm sure some of you out there remember or know what this is from. If I remember correctly, Dax only wore this outfit for one episode, and if I remember correctly, it was this outfit, the Dax, this Dax costume, or this outfit or uniform that Dax wore, was only worn in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, or when the show first started or got kicked off. Dax was in this uniform, and if I remember correctly, it was only like a brief little clip or video, like the footage of Dax wearing this was really short too, if I remember correctly. It was only there wasn't too many scenes of Dax wearing this. Anyway, so yeah. So I know that this toy is from way back or real ancient because all the other episodes or seasons, or most of the other episodes, Dax, or the Dax character, the Jadzia Dax that is, wore the other outfits, or the other Star Trek or Starfleet uniform. Anyway, so yeah, this is, no way, is that the, let me see if I could get this to focus. No way, is that what I think it is? Let me just check real quick. It is, oh, wow. That doesn't really make, I don't know, that's kind of weird. Okay, so this toy came with the Dax symbiont, but that doesn't really make sense to me because I thought the Dax symbiont was in Dax, or in the Dax character. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like this also came with a little bag and a tricorder. Yeah. And it says here on the side, hailing all collectors, individually numbered figures. Lieutenant Jadzia Dax in Starfleet duty uniform, Star Trek Deep Space Nine gear, Starfleet tricorder, trill, by sample collector, field hypospray with Starfleet action based. Oh, and this is, and by the way, 20 years later, this is new. Exclusive Playmates collector space cap included. That is the Lieutenant Dax. Collect each space cap with Playmates Star Trek Deep Space Nine action figures. And that is a picture of Dax. And That's kind of a weird picture. It's okay. So they have here Dax with in the background. They have the space station and the wormhole. So I guess that's kind of interesting. On the back here, I'll just flip this over real quick. Bunch of stuff written here. Just going to start reading this. I'm going through this real quickly. Let's read this real quick. And it says here, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The Deep Space Nine station floats at the edge of charted space, an interstellar trading post for explorers traveling through the neighboring Bajoran wormhole. Starfleet struggles to refurbish space station Deep Space Nine, which has been abandoned by the Cardassians. Following their plunder of Bajor, the new Deep Space Nine crew faces the ultimate challenge to restore order and maintain peace in a restless region of space, far from home and the security of Starfleet. New, exclusive Playmates Collector Space Cap included. Oh, wow. New. Now, for those of you who really got into DS9, you will remember the video games. It says here, new video game coming soon. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Crossroads of Time, video game on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, for those of you who are old enough to remember what those things are, the Sega or the Genesis and stuff, and the Super Nintendo, I had one of those growing up as a kid. And I actually, if I remember, it doesn't say what the game is, but if I'm thinking what I think it is, it was that one Super Nintendo DS9 game. I'm talking about the one where it was more like 2D, you know. I don't remember what it was called, but I also remember though the other Deep Space Nine games. They came out with two. I think there was two or maybe a third one. But I remember there was at least two other DS9 games that they came out with, but those were computer games or whatever, and they were 3D and stuff, and a little bit more advanced than what the Super Nintendo one was. Like Dax in the Super Nintendo game, and the other characters, like when you would click on them or go to talk to them, like a little screen, like a little paragraph would pop up, and their dialogue would be typed. But in the other two games this is years later, the other two DS9 games that came out that I remember, I don't remember what they're called or anything. Like you could talk to Dax, and like the graphics were much better. It was all 3D and stuff, and there was like movement, and it was much better. But you have to remember, back in 1992, 1993, when this Star Trek or the DS9, when it first started, it was being made, the technology was, not what it is now, obviously, but that's what they had back then, and that's what they used or what they had to work with. Anyway, this is some of the other toys that they had. Or used to have. And the gear this came with, the Star Trek Deep Space Nine gear, was Trill, the symbiont Dax that must be surgically implanted into Jadzia's host body. Starfleet tricorder, updated version of the classic scientific processor with multifunctional capabilities, scans and records massive amounts of data. File sample collector, special anti-containment device which allows Lieutenant Dax to compile data for exobiological and kinobiological research. Field hypospray contains a variety of medicines for discharge into patients in any emergency situation. Portable computer gear keeps Lieutenant Dax in communication with the starship's main computer. Another picture of Dax. Starfleet Action Base, allows Lieutenant Dax to assume any stance and be ready for adventure. Hailing all collectors, individually numbered figures. Come on, it's just gonna... Man, why does this act up sometimes? 19 from 1994? Yeah, so this is from way, way back, people. Also on the bottom, I'm just gonna read this real quick. Another Dax picture, and it says subject Dax Jadzia, species Trill, symbiont age 3 centuries, approximate host age 28 years, rank lieutenant, science officer. Service record: a combined life form, the Trill were forced to form their unique species centuries ago because of environmental disasters. As Jadzia, the lieutenant has always dreamed since childhood of hosting a symbiont. Her ambition and hard work, which included earning 4 university degrees, was eventually rewarded. She was chosen to become a host of the symbiont Dax. As Dax, she is a 300-year-old sage. Although both personalities are blended and now need each other to survive, there is at times a quiet but dramatic dynamic struggle between them. It is not possible to speak to Jadzia or Dax separately, despite their original disparity. Special remarks: Lieutenant Dax's great scientific background and calm manner make her most invaluable for the challenges at Deep Space Nine. Interestingly, Dax's last host was Curzon Dax, who was accused of involvement in an assassination. Jadzia Dax, however, was able to resolve the legal crisis, thereby preserving the Trill's integrity. And that's that. I was going to say something, I think. What was I going to say? Just trying to think for a moment. But yeah, this toy is from way back, from the original episode, or first episode. And yeah, as a kid I collected this kind of thing. Star Trek was pretty big back then when it was just getting started. It was pretty popular. Yeah. See you later. Thanks for watching.